Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new 4th helmet set. So we've gotten 3 of these helmet sets before. That was the Capture the Flag helmet, the Last Man Standing helmet, and the Skull Control helmet. That was blue, green, and yellow. Mega Construx has released a 4th one in red, and this is the Escape helmet. Now, you would be able to kind of see the setup on the front of the box, but it's gotten a little bit squished, but it's fine. We'll get a closer look at it. But before we jump into the review, I just wanted to give a quick thanks to Discord user It's Lucy. They were the ones that hooked me up with this set before it got to my stores, so big thanks to them. Alright, so a lot of people were actually wondering why there was no red helmet in the first wave, and I'm not entirely sure what prompted that decision, but for some reason Mega decided to go with yellow instead of red, and the yellow helmet was actually really cool, but they have finally given us the red. So we've got same type of box. There's kind of, you can see a little bit of what this set is all about there, but there we go. So this appears to be some sort of game mode where you have to get to like an extraction point while fighting other players. I'm kind of interested to see what it's going to look like in game. But other than that, this is the same exact packaging we've seen in all the other helmets. Alrighty, there we go. Let me just get this last bit of cardboard out. There's our pieces. Oh, it's plastic. That's why it's not ripping. I might have to cut that with some scissors. And our packaging is completely ruined. As usual, I mean, these helmet set packages are so odd anyway. I'm not sure why you would want to keep them intact, especially because the helmet is such a major part of the packaging. So, it's not really a big loss. But we've got 2 bags of parts, some instructions, and a green base, which is very cool. So let's go ahead and open these up. This looks to be both of our figures in one bag. Interesting. I don't know if Mega has done that before, just throwing both the figure parts into one bag. It's a little strange. And then parts we're going to build with. I'm sure a lot of you have already picked out the fact that we look to have some flood pieces in here. Very cool. We'll get a closer look at those in a minute. Let me go ahead and open up the instructions. I'm ripping them. Wonderful. The thing I wanted to note in here is the fact that the lineup has been changed to remove the oddball helmet. Like, what? Why? Now we just have red, green, and blue, and it's as if the oddball helmet never existed. That's kind of weird. But let me go ahead and get this set built, and then we'll take a closer look. Alrighty, so there we go. Everything is all put together. We got the 2 figures, our little kind of display, and of course, we really didn't need to have any building for the helmet. So let's go ahead and look at the figures, starting with that Anubis. This is the 4th Anubis figure we've gotten, but this one's really interesting because it's actually a female Spartan, and she is sporting an all-new chest plate mold. I believe this is probably going to be used for Kelly and Linda once we get their official figures, but it looks really cool. It's a very nice sculpt. It's got a new back, which honestly, I think this back piece should really be used for Chief. It's more accurate. The shoulder pads are the Halo Legends Chief shoulder pads. And I know a lot of people say that the Chief, Infinite Chief armor should use that. I'm not so sure I agree. They're a bit flat to match Infinite Chief's shoulder armor. And then we have the same lower legs as Chief in yellow, so maybe we could be seeing yellow Chief soon. And then same thigh armor, and I believe same groin armor. And the interesting thing here is that the female Spartan waist piece is not present. It's just a normal one. So that's interesting. It's also interesting that she has a kind of Halo 5, Halo 4 battle rifle when we've been getting older weapons. So that's also strange. And then, of course, it's just the Anubis head, which questionably fits on here. It's sticky on the neck to begin with, but when you can twist it, the Anubis helmet wants to kind of just roll right off, which is not uncommon. This head, let me grab the other guy. This head is almost the same as the blind bag Anubis, except the visor is silver. So that's kind of interesting. Honestly, I would have preferred to see the helmet in a different color, like blue or something other than yellow, so we didn't get almost an exact rehash. But it's still a nice color combination. There is the green Anubis, and then we have the skull control Anubis, which is still my personal favorite of the four. So, very interesting figure. Very interesting. And I'm quite interested to see how these other pieces show up, particularly that chest plate. Now, our second figure is also really interesting, for the biggest reason being we have a new Hermes helmet. Look at that. That is an amazing piece. The sculpt is razor sharp. Oh, it's just so good. The visor is applied so well, and it looks so much better than Halo 5's Hermes helmet. That was quite an eyesore. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the older Hermes figs to compare, so you're just going to have to look up some pictures or something if you want a comparison. Now, the other interesting thing is the fact that the under armor on the shoulders is colored, which is very odd. Usually, we'll just get the undersuit, all one color, and that's that. But this time, for some reason, part of the undersuit is colored to match the legs, and it's quite odd. I'm not sure if this is Mega's thing that they decided to do, or if it actually reflects some customization that we'll see in Halo Infinite. Either way, honestly, it looks really good. I was pretty skeptical about it at first when I saw the pictures, especially because the legs are just so white, and then we have the arms that are all white, and then kind of the black thrown in, and then, it kind of looked a little mismatched to me. But now that I'm holding it in my hand, it looks really nice. What doesn't look nice is the color difference between the chest and the head. Those are two entirely different reds. The package shows them being one, and in reality they are two. So that's kind of a bummer. It doesn't look that bad. It looks kind of cool, but it's still incorrect. And I've heard some people asking, does it match the red of the Halo Heroes Mark 7? And I would say kind of. The chest plate is very dark. It's very, very dark. So, kind of. Because the helmets are almost the same shade of red. And the shoulder pads are close. But that chest piece is so dark. SMG for the weapon. And then standard Mark 7 back. Nice print on the torso. Super cool figure. Just that color discrepancy is weird. It's very weird. So here's our little setup, and we actually have a barrier. There we go. It's pretty nice looking. It's very well shaped and built up. There's a little spot to shoot through, and it's removable, so you can just take that right off. And then we have this little thing, which I've been told looks like some sort of extraction beacon from other Halo games. So I'm guessing that's what it is. Although it has these derpy little eyes that look kind of like the superintendent's face. So I don't know what's up with that. But the instructions don't tell you to specifically position it anywhere, so you can just kind of put it wherever you want. So that's pretty cool. And then the biggest thing of note are these pieces of flood infection form. So just to confirm, that is indeed the same. And that little stud at the bottom is the same fleshy tan as the flood pieces. So my guess is that these Spartans are having to escape from some area that is infested with flood. So the game mode would probably go something along the lines of everybody trying to get to the extraction point while also fighting each other. So that's interesting. Definitely a lot less going on for the build than there was for some of the other helmets. But it's still really nice. Like I said, the barrier is really cool. And of course, we've got kind of a confirmation the Flood are coming back. At least in the Mega Construx sets. So that's really cool. And then the helmet, it's pretty much the same. The visor is a little scuffed here, and there's a little bit of kind of overspill down there. Not terrible, but not ideal. And looks like it's a little bit rough up here for some reason. Other than that, though, it's still really cool looking. That shade of red is very nice. And obviously, we're going to have to take a look at it alongside the other helmets. So let me go and grab those real quick. All 4 helmets, red, green, blue, and yellow. Yellow is still the odd one out with the black visor. And then, interestingly, none of these helmets have the same color visor. Red has kind of a more orangey hue to it. Green is a little lighter. Blue is almost silver. And then, obviously, yellow is just straight up black. So they look great with each other. I'm just very confused as to why we had the first release be with yellow and then Mega just kind of slipped the red in. Like, I kind of thought red, when it was leaked, was going to be the first of another 3 helmets. But instead, it seems to be a replacement for yellow, which doesn't make any sense to me, because yellow was a fantastic set in its own right and shouldn't be just replaced like that. So that's odd. I don't understand why they decided to do that. But I'm hoping that we'll get another wave of 3, or maybe the waves are supposed to be 4. Like, maybe these new armors that were in the red were delayed a little bit, and that's why we got the red one later. So here's to hoping that there's going to be another full wave of these helmets, or maybe even some different styles like ODST or just different Spartan helmets. That would be fantastic. Well, there you have it. That is the Escape helmet. And I gotta say, I definitely think this fits in with the other ones. It's as well-rounded as the other 3. Like I said, there's less building involved, and there's a little bit more of a removable aspect to the set pieces here, but it's still really good. The inclusion of those little flood forms on the ground is great. I'm very curious as to what that beacon thing is and why it has little eyes. I don't think we'll really know that until Halo Infinite comes out. And then the figures themselves are very good. They're a little odd in some places, and the color choices for that Hermes is still strange, but all in all, I think it works out pretty well. And the fact that we get a green base is pretty cool. So we've gotten, let's see, 2 different shades of gray No, a silver, a gray, a kind of a tan, and now a green. On the box, this actually shows it being a lime green, and I'm very much glad that it's not. It's a very nice green that they actually included. So, overall, another super solid inclusion to the helmet lineup. Just very mysterious as to why it was not released with a full wave. I definitely recommend you track this one down, though, because it's another good one. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.